Okay, well, welcome to my YouTube video. Let me introduce myself. I am Jared Wallace, and this is my tiny home project. I'm going to be out here on my pasture that I live on with my family. I have 10 acres of land, and I need my own spot to, 1, do my hobbies, 2, work on my projects, 3, live. So right now, I'm in the process of clearing all the land and getting a few trees cut down. That way I can bring in a 16 by 40 or 50, depending on what I find when I go and browse the market. I want a portable building brought in. And there's still a lot of work I need to do, and we're finally out of the winter months. I need to start cutting trees, hauling scrap metal, bringing in dirt, and getting this ready for a building. Okay, so I think 2023 in November, we had our pond excavated and made way bigger. And I'm gonna go ahead and take all that leftover dirt and go ahead and pile it over here. But I need to get that lowboy. I have a tandem axle lowboy filled to the brim with tin on it from the my great grandparents' house that we tore down. That's basically where all the scrap and glass and everything I'm gonna be picking up from. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the videos I took whenever we were destroying it. Okay, so once I get the trailer out of the woods, I'm gonna go ahead and get a buddy over here sometime soon, and we're gonna haul it with his truck. I would like to have another pile of scrap I have different piles of scrap on each part of this property, basically, that I need to grab and put in one big pile close to the driveway. So as soon as we get done dumping the first scrap load, I can get the tractor with the grabber, grab the scrap, throw it on, make another load. Thankfully, I'm blessed enough to have friends with vehicles that can go ahead and pull the lowboys for me. That's why I'm gonna give them a little bit of gas money for doing that favor for me. My main objective: clear all the little brush, find the trees I'm keeping, make it look prettier at the base, get all the random miscellaneous things and organize good materials off of my pasture, and make a pile of bad materials that I need to get a dumpster for, or haul to the dump, or scrap. And then I need to organize my lowboys and my stock trailer, my gooseneck, all somewhere. That way when I get my building in, I can go ahead and start plumbing, sheetrock, septic tank. I got a whole bunch of stuff I gotta get there. I gotta learn how to do electrical. There's a lot I gotta do. So I wanna have a good base before I get the building in. And that way y'all can start watching the property evolve even before I have the home. And then y'all can watch me turn a shed into a home. Okay, so all this was just separated from the house and random stuff my family has gotten over the years. I think it's all junk, but I'll set it off to the side somewhere and clear the junk off of it. I need to go ahead and burn that stump. I need to cut this one. I want to keep it, but that would be where my front deck would be probably, and my front yard of my house is too close. So I'll probably cut it, burn it, and then get another one and replace it somewhere else on my property. This needs to be burned, and I believe I put a stake, yeah, something right here. This one, there's one that was down there. I think it got ran over by my grandpa. But then I got this one, and that would mark out a 16 by 40 or 50 building. So I have a rough estimate where it'd fit. My grandpa has these Satsumas trees. He's putting ash from all the wood we burned from the scrap of the house, and he's trying to heal them. The freeze might have killed them, and looks like it probably did kill them. If you go ahead and look and see, all the leaves are dying and all the fruit are falling off. We had a possum problem before that, so he's been taking care of that. I'm gonna keep the cedar. I gotta get rid of this gum, like I said. I want to keep the pecan tree. I think that's another pecan tree, a small one, so I need to keep that. Burn that oak stump. burn the rest of this pile of whatever and pull the plastic out and the fence. I got to go through and pull all the boards and whatnot. We tried salvaging from the old house, then we just let it rot, so I'm just gonna burn it. Pull out all the plastics and junk. See, this is where we were filming. Oh, I guess it was behind the cedar tree. But we burned this old stump. It was a rotten tree we cut down a long time ago. Finally burned that stump. All these culverts I need to move and haul off. My grandpa's been redigging the ditch all the way around, so I'm gonna have to smooth that out so I can mow it. But I cut all these trees and leave some pines and all the oak trees and whatnot that I want to keep. Haul off all the tires, put them somewhere, and I think you can only get rid of 8 per year, so that's going to be a slow process. There's going to be a lot of stumps to burn, but a lot of this is going to be grading, because if you look down here, look, there's like plastics, there's glass, all of this area. I want to scrape the top layer of soil for this whole property and then bring in, hopefully I can get rid of these roots when I get rid of this tree. But I would like to bring in a top layer of soil, cover all the roots that I would be mowing over so I don't hit them with my lawnmower deck. And I want to cover all the roots, like I said, make the trees look prettier at the base. And then I have a whole bunch of stones, and I want to stack stones and boulders and whatnot around the base of the trees and make like little planter boxes around the trees to put little flowers in. And I want to add bird feeders and whatnot. But like I said, there's a lot of junk. There's a trail that separates behind these trees it separates between the livestock trailer and that tandem axle low boy over there. Sorry, I'm getting all tongue twisted. But this trail separates and goes out towards the pasture. So I'm mainly worried about this half right here to the field and my ponds back there. I want to get all this taken care of so I can worry about getting my house brought in. And then I'll worry about burning all the scrap wood that rotted. All these lawnmowers, my dad used to be a lawnmower mechanic. I gotta haul the ones he doesn't want to have anymore off. There's random materials stacked that got overgrown. I need to move out and put in a new stack so they don't get overgrown again. A lot of it I'm gonna have to pile up and call a dumpster out here and collectively get everything piled and then put it in a dumpster. And then after I burn all the rest of these piles, I gotta haul off all the extra dirt and ash and whatnot. Probably dig a hole, bury it, put topsoil on it, and then all the dirt from that hole I'll bring and put over here and cover all this nasty soil and all these roots and mud holes. This house that was here was 120 years old, so it had a well back here. So one of these mud holes is from the well that they've been packing dirt in for years. So I'm about to just dump a big pile of dirt and just run it over and over until it's fully packed. Then I gotta bring in a whole bunch of dirt right here. He's been going through all this ash and bringing in, putting it around his plants and his garden, raking out all the scrap pieces of wood and whatnot that didn't burn, all the glass. So I gotta help him do those two, but he did some in his garden already. Then we gotta haul the rest off. I gotta pull the metal pieces out. I need to brush hog the field and clean up and burn. That was all the brush from around the pond, that big pile. So I need to burn that eventually, but that obviously is a safety hazard. So we'll see. But my goal is to have just big trees, all pretty looking at the base, bird feeders, and the pond out there. I want to put a fountain in the pond, and it's gonna have a walkway to the pond. All look pretty. You try to give it time, and I will accomplish this. There's really not much. A lot of this I already know what I'm basically gonna do with it. It's just the act of doing it and having the time to do it. This is an old spigot from where the house was here, and it still works. So I gotta find it, cut it off, put a cap, and cut it, bury it, whatnot. I want to keep this Easter lily down here, and I was gonna save the spigot and build around it and make this a little pretty thing, but it'd be easier to get my house brought in if that spigot wasn't there. The cedar, like I said, it's all messed up from the storms. I think I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, the cedar tree, see, it's all messed up and dead branches snapped off, leaning. I would like to save it, but I'm gonna have to cut it. And then this oak tree is all crooked and nasty, and we're just gonna cut it and use it as wood for the smoker. And my grandpa's cousins, they come out here and drop that. But get that out of the way, and that way I can put a carport next to my building and whatnot. I want to put railroad ties around, because this is like a turnaround at the end of my driveway, just overgrown. There's rock underneath this. I want to put railroad ties around the front so people can park against it, re-gravel all this. We plan on adding a loop to our driveway instead and going around towards my Mustang and out the driveway. So a lot of this is just going to happen over time as I'm working around, but that's like the end goal. But this will be my little peninsula, and it'll be a tiny home project, and I plan on making this as nice as I possibly can. If you're interested in watching all this, this is pretty much just an explanation video, and or at least the first half of the video, and then the work starts from here on out. Thank you for listening to my rant on my project, and let's get this project going. Okay, well, first things first, let's go ahead and move the Mustang, get it out of the way, because I plan on getting the tractor and pulling up the tandem axle low boy right here. That way when my buddy comes, I have all the tires aired up and it's easy access to turn back up, grab it, haul it, and then I'll worry about pushing all the scrap piles towards the trail and driveway so I can just back the trailer up and throw it on with the tractor whenever that time comes. So let's go ahead, get in the Mustang. I cannot wait until I can park my cars at the end of the driveway under a carport. Eventually build a shed off somewhere, I don't know. I'm gonna go dump what he has in the bucket and go ahead and hook up to the trailer with the bucket, pick it up and just drag it out. I'm really not a fan of doing this because it messes this up, but I want to get a dual jack anyway, so. And this is how my grandpa does it, and it's his trailer, so who am I? Even though the tractor has a hitch right there, but that is a height difference. It probably make the tail end of the trailer drag, so. Either way, haul it out. I'm gonna try to find a block for the wood for the jack to sit on. Couldn't think of the word for a second. I don't know how well y'all can hear me with the tractor, so sorry if I'm screaming. Just kidding. Make sure my grandpa's not back yet. It's weird, but me and him have to balance it. He uses mine that I use this. Okay, so I was basically just scraping, seeing what I could find, all this old wood and stuff piled by trees. Oh, that's metal. Yeah, big piece of metal. But scraping, throwing it all into the scrap pile. There's plastic. I'm gonna keep all these trees. I'm gonna cut the lower oak limbs that grow into my tread into. I pushed off the trail. I need to clean that whole fence out there. There's a fence in there somewhere. But then I gotta do that. Clean around these completely, get rid of the glass and whatnot. And my dad and fill dirt to cover all the roots. Pick off for each of these trees. My project. Burn that stump. But right now I'm worried about getting in this. It ain't too crazy. There's just a lot of things. Glass, random metal, and then sooner or later grab these trailers and move them into a different section. This brush might leave this. This kind of looks cool next to a cedar tree because swamp trees. but clean all the little brush that's grown in it, around it. That had a lot of metal in it. I need to rake it out and take out the metal items and then push it into the burn pile. Move that somewhere. I'm gonna probably stack material on it. I almost fell and died, but random other scrap metal. But like I said, glass and whatnot, I'll move that all and dispose of it and then clean around it. Probably at a later time. This tree I'm probably gonna cut because look at the roots are just so bad. I couldn't even get close to cleaning around it, and it's just in a bad spot. I like to have an open section, bar area right here, shed, outdoor bar area right here. So we'll see how that comes out. That stuff I'm not gonna mess with yet until I get most of this wrapped up here. That way I'm not going back and forth. And that way tomorrow I should be able to get, and that stuff's gonna be a few hours out here again because all the trees and getting in and out. Probably get this whole back half. Worry about that later. Cleaned around all these trees. This one I need to rake around, cut the little brush again, and bring in dirt to cover these roots. Get all those, build a nice space around, and just get it all cleaned around the trees. I would like to keep it. It's not in a bad spot. But then we'll work our way. This is the old septic for the house. Get this whole lot cleared. Where all the glass has been thrown. I'm gonna break this and drop it down and fill it up with dirt. We'll move on to the are growing through where the septic used to run. Tire moving. So oak trees already have shallow roots on this whole side. I might call people out to do those two trees though. So as soon as this thing gets big and we have a really wet soil, this thing is probably going to want to tip and fall. Cutting a tree that way, be a whole day each. But yeah, I'll go ahead and cut it while it's small and just get rid of it and bury all this and make this just a nice yard. I want to get this all graded and smoothed all the way to the other side of the ditch. That way I'm able to mow all this down, make it look good. And I kind of want to brush hog and till some strips and throw some wildflowers in the fields during the summer and spring and whatnot. But yeah, mainly I was just trying to pull the stuff around the trees.